Welcome to Alex here. If you want to start this healing with me, you can go back and watch part 1, part 2, and now you can come back to part 3. Now, one of the reasons why I share this with you, because I know a lot of persons, especially part 3 video here is very important. So if you already tuned in and you already want to watch this one, you can watch and then go back to the next one, because everybody goes through what I'm going, but in a different way. Did you know that sometimes it's stuff that we go through in life, we actually call it on ourselves? Sometimes even the sickness that we face, we call it on ourselves. Sometimes there is a time to say no. And even if you care about a person, you love them so much and you think you're protecting them, it's best to say no. In 2014, I told a friend yes, and I made my friend a promise, and because I make a promise, I was so eager to keep my promise because of the goodness inside of me, but I was so unhappy keeping that promise. Is it okay to break a promise? Sometimes it's good to break a promise because you can damage yourself and that person in the long run. But to break that promise, you have to be brave. You have to be brave to face that person, to tell them the condition. And sometimes you tell them the condition, you won't have any regret later, because then you might come to a mutual understanding. It can end sour, but it's a process that sour won't be bitter as the one to come, because being honest is actually healing your own soul, your own self, and also helping that person. And 2014, I cried every single day. I cannot count a day in 2014 that I didn't cry. I measured my tears. At one point, I wondered if I was made to cry. If there ever been a crying business, I would have made a lot of money. I cried so much that the pain was so much, I stopped living. And when I mean by I stopped living, I stopped talking to people, I stopped talking to friends. I was mad at the whole world. I clustered myself, so even though I am still so sheltered right now, it is still hard to even get out of that zone that I put myself in that same year. Early 2015, something drastic happened to me. I was driving on a highway, and while driving, sitting in the car, I was still moping, still stressing, still crying. And when I look in front of me, I notice these little streaky lines. You know, when you're watching a TV and the TV like it a glitch out, that's how everything starts to look on the road. My eye pain me like toothache, and if you want to call it baby pain, it's worse than that. Yeah, and my eyes pain me so much, my head started to pain me, and so forth. It pained me for about 3-4 weeks. That the pain was so unbearable. I don't like to go to doctor if I'm sick, as you all know. I rather to use my natural stuff. But nevertheless, I was brave enough, because this is called eyesight. At one morning I wake up and I couldn't see out of one of my eyes, and I was saying wow, and it was paining me. But it wasn't for long. I couldn't see out of it just for a short little while, and it come back. When I went to the doctor ran a series of tests on me, and he's the second best doctor in Jamaica. What I said, he's the second best doctor. To most people, he's the best doctor in Jamaica. I would say he's the best eye doctor in Jamaica. And what had happened, as you know, I'm not calling the doctor name, so it's not a free advertisement or it is an ad or something I'm talking about. This doctor even take up my son's eyes and put it in back at his early age. So I'm telling you, this doctor is good. And when I went to the doctor said to me, your eyes are in flames. All the nerves in your eyes are so weak. The only thing left for you is to go blind. I take series of tests. They said that I spent in Jamaica, I spent $250,000 on my eye in less than 3 days. What I said, in less than 3 days. That's $250,000 I spent on my eyes in less than 3 days. And while going to the doctor and a series of tests and everything, he said no, this need a different specialist. It was too high for him. And he said, it's not really too high for me. I want a second opinion. He was so shocked by what he see, and he said, no, I need a second opinion. And he sent me to a next friend of his. And when I went to that friend, he sent me back to I went back to him, and he get the result. He said the same thing. Then he sent me back to a next person. This is not a colleague, but somebody who we know work on patient, and they get back the same thing. So he was basically, you see those fees that going to the other person, I didn't pay them. He actually referred me to them without pay. He said I needed a second opinion. The last one that I went to, I ended up paying. I didn't pay for the test that I did, one of the tests that I did, because he wanted that test to be done. And I don't remember why he sent me there to do the test again, but he actually paid for it. Can you believe a doctor that don't know me paid for the test? Alright, did he give me the money to go and pay for it? No, but he said I'll handle the test, because when I called the place, I tell him that the money was too much, I cannot manage it. He said it's okay, I'll take care of it, just go do the test. When I do the last test, the lady sit and look at me. Miss Powell, all the nerves in your eyes are weak. They are so weak. She said that there is an optic nerve that is there. It's stripped off, and it just barely touches. So if it is that to build back that nerves, I have to choose obese, diabetes, those hypertension, probably I have to choose all of those things. Maybe I will have hair growing some part of my body that I don't want to, but she's going to put me on a high dosage of steroid to see if it can boost back the energy and the nerves to get my eyes seen properly, and painkiller, some hard painkiller, and she would have to do a minor surgery. And I said, wow. She also said one of the surgery entails my spine, going in my spine. Now you don't want anybody going in your spine, and it's by pushing a long needle down in my spine to take out some fluid. Honestly, I don't remember the whole details of what went down or anything like that, but guys, it wasn't an easy task. She said, do you want it? I said, yes, once I see. And I go through that. Not to just tell you what I went through and what caused it. Did you know what caused that? Crying, stress. I cried so much that I nearly used my crying to go blind. So if you're there and you're crying, you're sad. And guess what? When you see me, you will not know that I cry. I have the most politeful smile. I walk well, I talk well, I do my work well, I greet you well. If you ask me to do anything, I'm there. If there's anything there for me to do, I will be there doing it. But you will never know that I cry. Loved one, friends, nobody knows that I'm crying. Nobody knows but me. So if you're there and you're suffering and you're going through so much, sometimes it's best that deal with the things at hand right now, because you can say to yourself that you're crying and you're comforting yourself, or you're just venting, but you never know, you can call on sickness on yourself. During that time I could have called on some other deadly disease on me that have no cure, right? Because stress is a thing that it mash up your body, your nerves. You want all your nerves in your body to work, so stress will mash you up. And if I had speak up before what was bothering me, why I'm sad, I would never have to go through this. I would never have to go on so much strenuous thing. When I take the first week of steroid, I had to lock myself in my room. I feel like I want to climb the wall, I want to climb the ceiling. It blew me up so fat. Even now, this weight that I have, I've never really found myself with so much weight. Even though I like this size now, because I've come down far down. I was bigger than this because the steroid blew me up really big, right? And I come down, and in no time I come back down to a size that I like and don't want to move, because I really like this size, away from, we ladies always want to work on our tummy, right? But I kind of like this size than looking extra skinny, so I like this size. But guys, the only thing I love about taking this steroid, it make my skin beautiful. That's it. When I come off the steroid, it wasn't the doctor that take me off. I just stopped taking it for 1 year and I take it straight. I'm not saying that sometimes I don't go and take a dosage of it or anything like that, but I come off it clean. And you know, when you're coming off a steroid, you can't just stop like that. You have to break yourself to stop, because you will go mad, you will go ballistic, you will mash up other organs in your body. You have to take your time and gradually. The same way as you take it. And guess what? My doctor didn't prepare my body for the steroid because it was so well needed. I started taking the high dose immediately. I was angry. I was aggressive. I was, at least I could get me agitated. So, agitated, or whatever you pronounce it. At least the thing get me agitated. I was miserable. The steroid made me feel so uncomfortable. I was sweating. I have this anger and temper problem. I have road rage problem. And let me tell you something, guys. I decided that I don't want this anymore. I do not think God wants me to be blind. I do not think He wants me to be blind. And when the doctor told me that, it's because you cry too much. She said to me, it's something caused this. Something caused this. I said, doctor, I cried every day. Because she said, do you cry a lot? I said, every single day I cry. She said, every single day? I said, yes, doctor. I said, no, you tell me this. Oh my God, I don't think my pillow can hold the tears that I'll cry tonight. She said, do me a favor. Do you want to not blind? Don't cry. Do not cry. Rest your eyes. And she said, your eyes are okay, but it's the nerves around your eye. They're inflamed. Guys, do you know, up until now, even if something is bothering me, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry because I don't want my eyes to go in flames again. Right? So you know that during that early stage, like 2000, 2017, 2018, you know that you're just recovering from your eyes being told that it's inflamed, and you're going through extra pain again, and you're holding that thing, and your eye water want to come but can't come because you're afraid to let it out. You know how that feels? It doesn't feel good. It's not a good feeling to have. So guys, I'm telling you out there, if you've ever been going through something, speak up now or stop. Just speak out. Speak out. Speak out. Don't hold it inside. And it's basically, most people said that, Thea, you work too much, or you do so much things, but they don't know me. Because of that, I was to take measures in my own hand, and without hurting the person, because I'm still shielding this person. I'm not saying that that person caused my eye to see. Don't get me wrong. I caused myself to see because I should have speak out. Maybe the person didn't know that I was sad. I should have speak out. I should have said, no, I don't agree with this. But because I thought my back was against a wall and I have no other choice. But I have choices. I had choices. I had choice. I had a choice was to say no, and I didn't say no. Now to the health side of it, how did I recover? And how am I recovering now? What am I doing now since I come off this steroid? Aloe vera. I use aloe vera to rub over my eye. I drink carrot juice. I try not to stress myself anymore. I stay away completely from negative people. I stay away from family that will drain me. I just stay away from people that I don't have to go around. And basically, if I don't need to socialize with people, I do not socialize with them. I stay in my own lane because I don't want no additional hurt. I don't want to cry. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to feel selfish. So I stay in my own zone. Yeah, if you come in, if I invite you, you know, you're well invited in. And I started doing things that I love. I started to readjust my life. I started to do things that I'm really passionate about and do things that I can manage on my own. So I'm telling you right now, don't measure your tears like what I did. Don't measure your tears. You're not supposed to measure your tears. They weren't there for that. Their tears was made there for joy. And if you're ever too sad, yes, but not grieve, everlastingly grieve. And I prayed. I asked God for healing. And that's how I get healing. I ask God for healing. He's my healer and my protector. And I start to find peace within. And once I start to blot out those persons who used to make me sad, people that I even love and cherish, I realize that there is a line And that line, I'm not supposed to let anybody cross that line. That line is between me and the Creator. And once I let people or anybody come over that line between me and the Creator, I realize that I'm going to be a sad and bitter person. Right now, yes, I'll vent. I'll talk about things that worry me, but I do not get that sad where I break down to a level that it affects my health. And I'm telling you, you need to draw a line now. Once that person is coming over that line, you kind of ease them back, because you need that self time, that self adjustment. I used to use my self adjustment to cry. You're supposed to use that time to find inner peace, inner wholeness, that holistic self. You're supposed to use that line between you alone and the Creator to find peace, to find joy. And thanks for watching part 3. And this is healing yourself. So won't you heal with me?